This is CNN Breaking News.
Hello and welcome to our viewers joining us here in the U.S. and all around the world. I'm Lynda Kinkade. Great to have you with us. We are 2 hours into the U.S. government shutdown, and it's too early to know how long it will last. Both sides are blaming each other. The Republican Speaker of the House quickly pointed the finger at Democrats, posting on X that they have officially voted to close the government, which is not true. What Democrats voted against on Tuesday was a Republican funding bill. Republicans voted down the Democrats' spending plan to extend health care subsidies. With the government now partly out of commission, certain programs and payments will be put on hold. But the U.S. president warns some cuts could be both painful and permanent.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
Party leaders are doubling down on their arguments, releasing statements as soon as the clock struck midnight in Washington. Democrats say they're willing to make a deal as long as it addresses health care. But top Republicans say they will not negotiate until the government reopens. Here's some lawmakers and what they had to say before the shutdown.
He is admitting that he is doing the firing of people if, God forbid, it happens. He's using Americans as pawns, as I said. Democrats do not want a shutdown.
We want to keep the government open to serve the people. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have decided to close it. We'll see how long this standoff continues, but it's real people that get harmed in the process.
We're here to talk about the impact of the shutdown is CNN's newest anchor, Elex Michaelson. Good to have you with us.
Good to be with you for the first time. Thank you so much.
So there was no last-minute negotiations leading up to this deadline. The lawmakers basically left. No sign of a compromise. So what does that tell us about the political dynamics at play? And who is going to be hardest hit?
Well, both sides think that it's good for them. Democrats think that this is good, that they can fight on this issue of health care. Republicans think that this is good because they think the Democrats are going to be blamed for shutting down the government. Ultimately, though, this impacts a lot of regular people who may not care that much about politics one way or another. Let's talk about who is not really impacted. These are quote-unquote essential services. These will keep on running. So we're talking now about Social Security, Medicaid. They will stay as normal. Veteran services, unemployment, National Weather Service, the Department of Homeland Security, all of them continuing to operate the way you would expect. But here's what might be impacted. Air travel. Folks already in the FAA, they're going to continue working, but they may not get paid. So there's a hiring freeze for new air traffic controllers. What does that mean for you? Well, it could mean flight delays. The national parks could temporarily shut down. So if you've got a trip to a place like Yosemite or Yellowstone, that could impact you in a big way. If you need government documents, that could impact you. The FDA will stop some inspections, stop processing new drug applications. So all of that impacts everyday Americans.
And of course, we heard from the U.S. president ahead of this shutdown. I just want to play some of that sound.
So the last thing we want to do is shut it down, but a lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things.
Alex, he said a lot of good can come from a shutdown like this. You've spoken about some of the pain that people might experience. What good is he referring to?
Well, look, the Republicans for a long time have felt like the government is too big, too bloated. There's a lot of inefficiency, and they don't like a lot of bureaucrats. So the idea of the government shutting down is not necessarily bad to a lot of Republicans. And a lot of the programs are programs that Democrats have championed. Most federal workers impacted are Democrats themselves. And so this idea of having an excuse to shrink it is something that a lot of Republicans think is a good idea.
And of course, the Democrats are demanding a commitment to renew health insurance as subsidies for low-income earners. And Republicans have resisted that. Just talk us through the fight that led to the shutdown.
So there are these subsidies to make Obamacare more affordable for a lot of folks. They're set to run out. The Republicans did not extend them when they passed their quote-unquote big, beautiful bill earlier. Democrats say this is going to harm a whole lot of folks, and so we want to fight. And so we're not going to keep the government open unless you fix this. They think it's a winning issue for them. A lot of their base feels like they have been losing on issue after issue, been rolled by the Republicans, and that this is the hill, metaphorically, worth dying on. Republicans say those subsidies don't really work, and that this is, not a good idea to go forward.
So I have to wonder who voters are going to blame for this shutdown. Is it going to be the Republicans? Is it going to be the Democrats? Who's most at risk here, politically speaking?
Yeah, well, we got a new poll that we want to put up on the screen that shows it's kind of split. A lot of this depends on what party you are. Some blaming Trump and the GOP, some blaming the Democrats, some saying both equally, 33%. Haven't heard enough to say that last 21% could be important. The spin game, you saw the leaders of both parties out tonight, both of them on CNN tonight, trying to get ahead of the messaging on this of who is ultimately going to be blamed for this. We know a couple things are true. One, government shutdowns are not popular, and whoever is seen as blamed for that usually takes a big political hit. But two, healthcare cuts are usually not popular either. So the Democrats think that that will overweigh the other. But traditionally, when the Republicans shut down the government, when they pulled this thing, it usually hurt them politically. So we'll see as this drags on. But CBO estimates 750,000 people could be furloughed every day, federal workers every day. And so that starts adding up. And Republican or Democrat, if you're expected to be paid for your work and all of a sudden you're not, you could be pretty angry.
And if you listen to the president, some of those people may not even have a job.
Right. And they could,
weeks.
that's, and for some folks in the Republican Party, they think that's a good thing. But that could impact people in a real way if they start actually firing people en masse.
Alex, it's great to have you here, and it's great to have you on our team.
Thanks
for
Lynda.
joining us.
Appreciate it.